So the topic of this poster is the high temperature behavior of polymer derived ceramics coated novel iron aluminate intermetallic alloy. And I would like to thank in the beginning once again for this opportunity, not only to have a presentation, but also to have a poster. So I'm PhD, once again, I'm PhD student from AGH University of Science and Technology in Krakow. And this work was performed in cooperation with our partners from Silesian University of Technology in Poland and Pedagogical University in Krakow, also in Poland. So, first of all, during my presentation, I had the chance to talk just a little bit about polymer-derived ceramics based coatings on stainless steel Crawford 22 APU for interconnects. And here I would like to present some results of oxidation of those coatings, but on a different substrate, which is iron aluminate intermetallic alloy, which was invented a few years ago but by our partners from Silesian University. And as long as it is quite a brand new material, we performed two types of studies. So first of all, in situ XRD investigations for the pure material to, let's say, to investigate the structural stability, possible phase transitions of this considered alloy and alumina polymorphs within room temperature to 1150 Celsius degrees, and also to determine an oxidation resistance and structural microstructure of samples coated with silicon oxycarbide and silicon aluminum oxycarbide glasses, and this possible influence of coatings on this alloy's oxidation resistance. And the group basically in past 40-50 years, scientists are looking for heat-resistant light materials, and amongst these, alumina formers are of high interest due to the formation of very thin protective favorable layer of alumina, which is created on the top during the exposure of such materials to severe environment. And one of those, so amongst alumina formers, one of those are iron aluminates, which can be characterized with extremely high oxidation resistance, not only to oxygen, but also to the sulfurization, carburization, and nitridation. But there are some problems with hot workability and machinability, and with some tests at high temperatures about cycling oxidations and the problem of scale spallation. So I would like to present you the experimental right now. So let me give just a minute. Okay, so here it is on the left. So the alloy consists around 40 atomic percent of aluminum, 5% of chromium, and some small additions of titanium and boron. So this FALO, so this is the phase, so this is B2, and the chromium, titanium, and boron are added in order to increase the mechanical properties of the material itself. And apart from that, our partners from Silesian University, they invented the process of plastic processing of this material, which is extrusion, in order to increase also furtherly the mechanical properties, and also to avoid some voids, cracks, so to obtain better microstructure of the material. So the material was investigated in two types, so after crystallization and after extrusion. And in the first part, called, let's say, the samples after grinding, with silicon carbide papers up to 500 grit. So the first part of the study is this in situ XRD investigations, both in the high temperature range, so 800, 1150, and also taking into account this lower temperature range, so from room temperature to the same one, 1150. And in the second part, I applied coatings that I talked slightly a few, let's say 1 hour ago, based on polymer derived ceramics. So just quick reminding, I'm obtaining these coatings by means zoological method, so hydrolytic polycondensation, and after preparation of a zool, then I'm using deep coating technique to deposit very thin layers, and then I'm aging it. It's in the air atmosphere at 70 Celsius degrees for 1 week to let the, let's say, solvent evaporate and polycondensation occur. And after that, I'm pyrolyzing my samples at 800 Celsius degrees for 30 minutes in argon atmosphere. So after that, coatings were oxidized for 1,000 hours at 1,000 Celsius degrees in laboratory air. So please let me show the first results concerning this in situ XRD investigations and this high temperature range. So I would like to focus on the graphs number 1 and number 2, so which depict on the left temperature dependent process, and on the right, in the second figure, the time dependent process. So it is a really interesting study because we can show the oxidation and some phase transitions not only in the function of temperature but also in the function of time at the specific temperatures. So one singular measurement, which is shown on the right, lasted for 30 minutes, and it is like an average result of this 30 minutes of the investigation. And so right now I would like to focus on the figure number 1 and the fact that we observed all alumina phase transitions. So starting from 850, we saw the formation of gamma alumina phase, and on the right side you can see here the increasing intensity of the reflection coming from gamma alumina, and then at 950 we observed the formation of theta alumina, so the next metastable phase, and also alpha alumina. And here on the picture number 2b, you could see the increasing intensity of the reflection coming from theta alumina and also from alpha alumina 100% peak. So both gamma to theta and gamma to alpha phase transitions were confirmed. And afterwards, let's say at 1100, we observed a complete theta to alpha final phase transition of the alumina. And in the second part, we investigated also the lower temperature range. Why? Because in literature we saw plenty of information concerning the formation of iron oxides or iron mixed oxides. Also in our studies in this region from 400 to 700 Celsius degrees, you could observe numerous reflections which came from hematite, so iron 3 oxide, alpha iron oxide, and also gamma iron oxide, which is magemite, and also mixed oxide of iron and aluminum in this lower temperature region. And why it is so important? Because then furtherly at the higher temperature region, we saw some differences comparison to the first study, to this first part, because even though we saw a gamma alumina temperature is 850, so then we saw a shift in the temperature ranges for the further phase transitions. So first of all, gamma to theta was observed 50 centigrades lower, so at 900. And then at 950, we observed once again the first formation of alpha alumina. However, the full transformation from theta to alumina was observed 100 Celsius degree below, so at 1000 Celsius degrees. And in our opinion, it is because of the fact of the formation of hematite before, and it has the same crystallographic structure as alpha alumina, and it may act in, let's say, to decrease this enthalpy barrier, this enthalpy formation for the creation of alpha alumina. And on the left side, you could see also the time-dependent processes. So I would like to draw your attention to two specific graphs. So, the first one, so 4A, when we could observe also the phase transition of the alloy itself, that at 700 Celsius degrees, we observed a peak around 54 degrees, which came from B2 phase. So first of all, as it turned out, our alloy was a mixture of DO3, highly disordered phase, and B2, highly ordered phase. And then at 700, we observe this DO3 to B2 phase transition because of occurrence of this peak. And also, second interesting feature is really beautifully shown theta to alpha alumina phase transition because of increasing intensity, decreasing intensity of a reflection coming from the theta phase and simultaneous increasing intensity of a peak coming from alpha alumina phase. So right now I would like to move on to the second part of the study, which is the oxidation of samples uncoated and coated with polymer-derived ceramics. And first of all, I would like to present you the mass changes within 1000 hours. And the results may seem a little bit ambiguous at the first glance because of the fact that the lowest mass changes were observed, or the lowest mass gains were observed for uncoated material. So, as I said, it could, let's say, it could be ambiguous at the first glance, but let me show you further results. So first of all, grazing incidence diffraction on the right side for samples after pyrolysis, so from A to F, which showed, let's say, the amorphousness of the coating because this only reflections come from the substrate. However, after oxidation, we see nearly only this alpha alumina phase. However, in case of the oxidized sample with the coating, we see that in one case, still the theta phase could be observed. So it means that the inward oxygen diffusion, which is a driving force for the formation of alpha alumina, was blocked. And also then I would like to put your emphasis, draw your attention to the microstructure studies. So first of all, pictures of some images of coatings after their formation, and unfortunately it seems that material, the pure material of silicon oxycarbide is inhomogeneous and cracked. However, in case of aluminum doped material, we could see non-cracked, fully tight homogeneous coatings. And after oxidation, we see the fully confirmation and the explanation why we had such ambiguous mass changes results. So here we see on the E and F images, we see, let's say, some images after oxidation of uncoated material and fully spallation phenomenon. And in comparison to that, after using our coatings, we see that this microstructure, the morphology changes a lot, considerably, and we see only some small cracks, small spallation sites. However, in comparison to uncoated material, the improvement is really significant. And then, using a higher resolution, we see that a multi-layered scale was formed. So here, I would like to move on to the 8th figure, let's say with Eds Mapping Analysis, which fully confirmed the formation of alpha alumina, and the top layer consists of needle-like alpha alumina, and the layer below is a lump-like alpha alumina subscale, and it is quite usual phenomenon for these alloys to create multi-layered scale, because in the beginning, metastable phase are created because of the outward cations diffusion, and then alpha alumina is created because of inward oxygen diffusion. So in this case, it seems that our coatings slightly blocked this inward oxygen diffusion, and let's say the spallation was blocked, and also here we could see still the theta phase in our sample. So to conclude, plenty of phase transitions could be observed during in situ XRD investigations for this novel iron aluminate alloy. So not only alpha alumina changes, but also a phase transition with the material itself. And it is highly probable that during the oxidation, coatings did not stop fully the diffusive processes, but slightly suppressed them. And the multi-layered scale was nucleated after the oxidation, which consists of this needle-like and lump-like alpha alumina crystals. And also this most interesting part, that this morphology of the samples changed a lot because there was no spallation, let's say nearly no spallation observed. So I would like to thank you very much for your attention, and if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask me.
Thank you, Professor.